Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Uncommon Truth today. I'm pretty excited about today. I've got Bob co-hosting with me as usual, and I've got a really special friend of mine, Nathan Freitas. He's coming to us from Nashville, and we'll be talking about the uncommon truth about relationships and the power of proximity. So, Bob, what is your view or belief about the power of proximity and the power of the people and relationships we choose in our life? Kick us off.
Thanks, Heath. Good to see you guys. Let's just be clear about that word for a second, just for our listeners and viewers. Heath, what does proximity mean? And so to me, it means, tell me if I'm wrong on this, it means the people you hang with, the people that influence you, the people that you get advice from, the people that you look up to, the people that teach you the lessons that are powerful in your own life. So you learn from them, you watch them, they have an impact on you. Am I close?
You just nailed it right on the head as always, brother. Thanks for bringing that clarity and simplicity to that word for me.
Well, it's interesting because you go through high school and you have your friends around you, and then maybe you go on to university or go on to your first jobs, and there's more people around you. And what happens is, it seems to me that people attract other people, and sometimes it's a fantastic attraction. It really works well, but a lot of the time they're just people that you're hanging with because there's nobody else there you spend that time with. So my particular case, that's what I found. Is I found myself in my early mid 20s, and I had a series of friends around me, a series of influencers around me. But on closer inspection, they weren't really that helpful. Maybe they weren't even true friends. They were just acquaintances that we were spending time together with. So one of the very important lessons that I learned in life was that I had to jettison some of my friends. I had to move on from the relationships that were taking a lot of time out of my life. And some of them were really quite negative influences at that time that I actually made cold, hard decisions. And some relationships I just let go, and I moved on. But the most powerful lesson was to actually be intentional about it and to seek out the people that I wanted to hang with, to look for people of character, people with same virtues as myself, people that could uh, provide some positive value in my life, and then actually intentionally approach them in one way or another and actually become friends, become acquaintances, become business partners over the years. So what a tremendous life skill it is to create your own proximity, power of proximity, by having the people around you that make your life better.
Really well said. That the power of the relationships we choose and to do it intentionally, right? As we talk about, we need to live intentionally focused on executing and choosing those relationships. So, Nathan, thanks for being here today. What are your thoughts on that? The power of our relationships and the proximity we choose.
It's interesting. And I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Bob, your take on it, and Heath, just knowing how we met. I believe so much in the power of proximity. I actually sitting here getting emotional. Like, I emote through my eyes. So I'm thinking about all of the career advancements that I've made in my life and the relationships that I have, and they all come from proximity. I literally, I can remember at one point in my life, I was like, I don't want to be in sales anymore. I want to be in marketing. And so I actively went out and I met with some of the best marketers within Salesforce.com and in the Bay Area. And through those relationships, I'm riding my bike 45 minutes to grab drinks with a guy in like this, Palo Alto, this like really beautiful area of California, just to have that proximity, to learn from them. Right. And he's recommending a book and I'm reading that book and then I'm following up with him. And so, all of those relationships got me into marketing. And then those relationships got me somewhere else. And then, so it's one of those things that I think people take for granted. But if you do approach it from a place of intentionality, it's life-changing. And I could go on and on about it, but I believe wholeheartedly that proximity is incredibly powerful, if not one of the most powerful things that you can have in your life.
It reminds me of our story of
Yeah.
landing in Fiji, and we're standing in line, and I was talking with Erwin, and you just took the chance, opened up, and began. And man, what 10 days it ended up creating, in the relationship that we've created, and just by one choice to ask a question.
Hmm. Yeah, it's again, it's, if someone's listening to this, you might take it for granted, but for me, it was a big deal because I'm very guilty of, and I think there's kind of this invisible barrier between the true power of proximity and where you are today. And me meeting you, Heath, right, was, it was such a great example. I'm standing there in line. We're going through immigration, right, or going through customs, whatever it was, right, to get into Fiji. And you guys were standing in front of me, right? A little pack, right? 3 guys, super fit, high energy, had Tony hats on. So I knew you were going to the same thing I was going, and I'm by myself. And that little voice in my head, like my voice in my head said, "You're not good enough. You don't belong with these guys. You're way above your league." But I looked at that voice and I said, right,
Yeah.
right.
Well said.
And then, and of course, I introduced myself to you. And what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, we're sharing our life stories over coffee. You're working out with bands in the front of the airport. People are looking at us like we're freaks. And right, we grab an hour long taxi ride, and the rest is history. So, yeah, proximity is ridiculous.
Yeah, well said, gentlemen. Great stories, and that's the question. Heath talks about the power of proximity, and I think Nathan's nailed it. Right? It is really a superpower to overcome your first inclination, which is not to say hi, not to say hello in that lineup, right? And we've talked about this before, Heath, but the root of that problem, the root of not of choosing not to say no, is really fear. It's like, I'm not good enough. I don't belong with those guys. I'm not in the same league. Those are the words you use, Nathan. And the truth is, you don't know that. So you did the right thing. You stepped boldly. You stepped intentionally forward, and you created that relationship by overcoming the fear and moving forward. And that is the secret power that everybody has, but they're hesitant to use it because of fear.
Oh, thanks, Bob. You just, as always, you just nailed it, and it's going to segue us into the next question. But the truth, our quest that we have here with the uncommon truth, the truth is actually the big fear killer, in one simple word, because fear is simply a lie that we're all choosing or not choosing to believe. And that one choice in the story that Nathan shared about him and I in the beginning of our relationship has blessed my life beyond measure, with a friend that we will journey through life together, sharing ideas and business and life, and how do we just keep holding each other accountable. And we touch base regularly just to catch up, to support, to empower each other, and to really hold ourselves to a standard, right? And those are the things that we've really learned through this. And that's the truth, that fear is just a lie.